Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Welcome one, welcome all to SimSpeed TV. Once more in 2024, we are on the dirt. It is the Australian Sprintcar Championships by Oceanic Dirt Sim Events. First up on the roster, the LCJ Carpentry Big Gator Bash from Volusia Speedway Park. We are in for a fantastic season here. Absolutely fantastic. Stacked schedule, stacked field. It's going to be so much fun, and we're bringing it to you live every single round on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, and Kick. It's me, Reese Gardner. Jay Kennedy's with me in the comms box, and also handling production behind the scenes for this first round here in virtual Florida. Jay, I love Volusia. I love sprint cars. Match made in heaven.
100%, and it's such a good track to start the schedule off. I think we've started so many of our series here throughout the last few years, and it's absolutely fitting that it's the track to start this schedule off. Volusia, just north of Orlando in Florida. Very, very warm part of the state. Appropriate because the action is always heated here around this track. It is always so much fun. Hey, how good it is that ASC is back.
Oh yeah, so good, so good. Absolutely love sprint car racing. It's a huge scene in America, huge scene down here in Australia and New Zealand as well. And Volusia is one of the star tracks around the world. D-shaped oval. It's got a lot of subtleties around the layout that can catch drivers out, particularly the tyre bundles on the way onto the start-finish stretch, which is at the bottom of the screen. Nice and straight, but you want to try and cut down low coming off that final corner. And we've seen many a driver fall afoul of the pit entry wall in the past. This is the format for tonight. Of course, we have 8-lap heats. The top 5 from each heat will advance straight to the A main. Then we've got the C and B mains working our way through the alphabet. The top 4 from the C main go to the B main. Top 4 from the B main go to the A main. And remember, the top 2 from each heat will have an extra little something to work out their grid positions, Jay. We are bringing back the spinny wheel.
Our favourite friend is coming back, and I'll be honest, while I was building the spinny wheel last week, it brought back some fun memories, so I'm excited to bring it back in I think a few people will be quite happy to see it back as well. Others will probably be dreading it because it hasn't brought them the luck that they may have liked throughout the career of the spinny wheel, but spinny wheel always adds some entertainment.
Yeah, certainly does. So many drivers will be hoping to be in the top 2 in each heat, and they'll be staring in the face of this fantastic graphic once more, deciding the top 8 for the feature start. Of course, we start off the season here at Volusia tonight, and then next week we go straight to Lanier for the short track nationals, and we're alternating between the 410 and the 360 sprint cars all through this schedule, Jay. It's going to be interesting to see how the drivers adapt to the bigger and subsequently smaller engines that each provide their own set of challenges.
Yeah, I think one thing that's cool is that the cars are definitely suited to each track, so the bigger the track, the more horsepower we've got, the bigger the engine. So I think they're pretty appropriate in how they've been worked out. The interesting thing for me is that track, which will be round 9, June 13, we don't know where we're going to be racing yet, which is an extra element. We don't know what car we'll be driving, we don't know what track we'll be driving, but fingers crossed we'll have a nice new shiny toy to play with within iRacing at that point. Second half of the season though, some new tracks we've never been to before. Actually, when we look down at Port Royal there, it's going to be a very, very fun one as well.
Yeah, indeed. We've got all of the star tracks, obviously. You know, Limaland, Knoxville, Charlotte, Volusia, of course, for this first round. We always like racing at Lanier as well, but it'll be interesting to see Port Royal. There's plenty of dirt content being added to iRacing season upon season. We've got the micro sprint coming out in week 13 as free content, which is going to be fantastic. I know I'll certainly be behind the wheel next week testing that car out at a various amount of dirt tracks. But it's a long season, Jay. We are racing all the way into October here to crown the 2024 Australian Sprintcar Champion in the sim world.
Yeah, and it's cool that we're going to run all throughout the season. I think it's really a fun series that we're going to run each and every week all the way right through to end the year off. And I think the fact that it is a year-long championship sort of will change how some drivers approach it as well. I think that that extra mindset that people have to go in and think, hey, this is a long year. We're going to have to really concentrate on everything. So you got to be mindful of every single incident that you may get yourself involved in. So, lot to play for throughout the season.
Yeah, plenty indeed. We see the drivers getting their final practice laps in. Practice only lasting for 3 to 4 minutes. And I believe, as per usual, in ODSE, drivers only get 2 laps of practice before everything gets started. We'll have 4 minutes worth of qualifying, over which every driver will get 2 laps to set their heat starting spots, and then we will go straight into the heats. It's nice cool conditions out there, which certainly isn't what you'd expect from Florida, but hey, it's just coming into the spring in that part of the world right now. So those temperatures make sense. 24-degree track temperature should be a good amount of grip out there for the drivers.
Yeah, and one thing you were talking about before is that tyre bundle. It's just in the bottom right-hand side of the screen there. The drivers will have to watch out for that yellow bundle of tyres. That will catch drivers out. It will cause chaos. It will cause mayhem. It will cause carnage.
Yeah, certainly will. You see that most drivers are running middle of the road at the moment as the track is still very fresh, but as the groove starts getting worked in, we're going to be seeing more drivers commit to an extreme inside or extreme outside line, which is where those tyre bundles will come into effect. And the back stretch at Volusia is basically a corner by itself, so it's always interesting to see drivers dive down low on the back stretch, because that's usually where the fresh dirt is, and you want fresh dirt for maximum grip in these cars. Practice is over, and it is time for qualifying. We will see who gets first dibs for every heat grid starting right now. We've already got drivers out on track. Looking at the number 23 of Tristan Yelland, Neuropower Velocity Motorsport. Tristo is a very long-standing figure in the AusNZ dirt racing community, and motor neuron disease is his passion, I suppose you could say. He does have it himself, and he is a big advocate for sufferers of MND around Australia, and Neuropower is definitely an organisation that we are proud to support. Let's see what Tristo can do here as he puts his first lap on the board. That's a 13.0. We're already down into the 12.5s with Leo Heaton in the 26 up the front of the field. Tristo puts his final lap in, and that puts him down to 8th at the moment, with Trent Gosley now up into P6, Luke Payton up to P7, Cole Ferguson in the number 81, second place right now. Josh Walton with a great qualifying performance so far, up into 3rd. Sean Stevens slots into P7, and then there goes Nathan Vanderwacker, who has just come off a season of World of Outlaws sprint car dirt racing in the official sense, iRacing World Championship competitor, and looks like the Vortex number 88 is looking very quick tonight.
Sure is. He's knocked out a very, very good time there. 12.5, be about the marker to see as we get to the end of the session. No surprise, the regular names sitting back, watching, waiting for the time to tick down before they jump out and go on and do their runs. Those being Tim Ryan and Harry Stewart. Always see those guys wait till the very, very last second.
Yeah, well, Harry might have a little bit of difficulties because I've just seen that he's dropped from the server.
Oh.
That was within the last minute. So hopefully he can get back into the server before the session ends and get his laps in. That's going to be a big disruption to his night if he can't get that sorted. Brady Baldwin, series organizer, the man behind Oceanic Dirt Sim Events, and bringing the number 7 Synergy Sim Racing car out. Currently up into 11th spot on his second lap, 12.649. Very close gaps between all of these cars. Here's another Synergy competitor, Brenton Hobson, manages to get 19th from his run, and Tim Ryan is out on track here with a minute to go. This is the reigning champion of ASC that you're looking at right now. He is the man to beat. He's the one everyone's going to be gunning for, but He'll likely be doing it from the front. Look at that already. 12.532 up to the top. He only needed 1 lap.
It's Nathan Vanderwacker by 8 thousandths of a second. Much of a gap, but you don't need much. This has to be enough.
Yeah, exactly. Meanwhile, here comes Ethan Winter. Let's see what the number 39 can do on his first lap. It looks like Harry Stewart's gotten back into the server and is now out on his laps too. So we'll get our final few cars sorted here with Ethan setting a 12.54 up to 3rd spot. Excellent job there from the Hobbs sponsored number 39. And he does not improve on his 2nd lap. Harry Stewart, meanwhile, has only managed 14th on the timesheets. So, unfortunately, the connection issue that he suffered has already gotten his night off to a very tough start. So that's how things line up in the top 10 on the timesheets for the quick time, and the heat grids are already sorted, Jay. It is time to get into the grid for the first heat of the 2024 ASC season. Tim Ryan and Cole Ferguson are going to start on the front row here, with Casey Simons and Brady Baldwin on the 2nd row. Jaden Russell and Hayden Vickers round out the top 6. Very stacked heat, this one. We got Luke Payton and Braden Shute on the 4th row. And rounding them out, we got Josh Barry and Rob Crawley. This is going to be very competitive. Tim Ryan not as far ahead on outright 1-lap pace as I expected him to be. So let's see if he can turn that around and do his usual shtick of streaking away from the field.
One thing to remember is we often in this series past, it was top 4 would go through into the A main. Top 5 will go through from the heats. 4 heats, 5 cars go through, and then from the B main, when we get to that point, top 4 from that will go through to give us our 24 cars for our main event tonight.
Indeed, and we've got 4 heats to go through tonight. 10 car grids for the first 3, 9 cars for the final heat of the night. So now we wait for the clock to hit 0, which it has, and we will now have a couple of formation laps to get things going here at Volusia Speedway Park. Number 98 versus number 81 on the front row.
Interesting how much the track has already been gripped up a little bit after just qualifying in a couple of laps of practice. I guess that's probably why we saw so few laps of practice for the drivers. I mean, we're not too surprised. We've seen it many, many times before, but they're going to be tough out there for a lot of drivers tonight.
Oh yeah, certainly is. Pace car will come around for one more round here, and I was about to touch on that actually, Jay. Seeing just how grippy the track looks right now. It is still the start of the night. The track is still very fresh. So we're going to be seeing a lot of rear wing back running, I think. Maybe even rear wing forward if the drivers want a little bit more front grip. I would imagine as the track gets worn in more, we're going to be seeing drivers move their rear wings further and further back to just keep the car stable through these very fast turns. Volusia is a very quick track with open turns, and there is a lot of potential for side-by-side, it being so wide. So, the start zone gets entered. Tim Ryan will bring us away, and that's it. Brilliant start for Tim Ryan to open the ASC season. Cole Ferguson will keep him honest as Brady Baldwin has moved up into 3rd spot. Casey Simons down to 4th. Hayden Vickers, Jaden Russell, Luke Payton, Josh Barry, Braden Shute and Robert Crawley are your order. And already we've got a bit of contact. It seems like Casey Simons and Hayden Vickers have been suffering some issues, and it's side by side between Luke Payton and Jaden Russell. Payton with a big moment of oversteer right in the middle of the corner. Bit too much rotation there on the number 54.
And contact from Jaden Russell is probably struggling a little bit. Not often that we see Jaden Russell outside the auto qualifying zone, unless he's had a big incident, but he didn't have a great qualifying. Still in 6th, and he just hasn't got any pace to close up to the back of Hayden Vickers.
Yeah, it seems like there's not much he can do. Meanwhile, the top two have started to break away from everyone. Looks like Cole Ferguson is really keeping Tim Ryan honest here. Tim, of course, consummate professional, reigning champion of the series, former World of Outlaws Sprint Car World Champion as well on the iRacing service, so he knows just how much to push early on. All he needs to do is make sure that he stays ahead. But for now, Tim Ryan and Cole Ferguson are safe in the draw for the top 8 starting positions in the feature. We keep an eye as well on the battle for 5th, with Jaden Russell still trying to catch up to Hayden Vickers. He's getting ever closer, but it's the final lap of the heat, and it doesn't look like he has quite enough to do it. So Tim Ryan will cross the line to win the first heat of 2024. Ferguson will join him in the top 8 grid draw. Baldwin, Simons and Vickers join them on the A main grid.
Actually a big incident in that race as well. You noticed that Luke Patton and Josh Barry ended up 3 and 4 laps down. We're going to replay that soon, but as you said, Vickers' final auto qualifier from that one. Casey Simons, Brady Baldwin, Cole Ferguson and Tim Ryan auto qualify. Russell, Shute, Crawley, Payton and Barry will have to do it the long way.
Indeed they will work their way through the C and B mains as we briefly check out what happened. Josh Barry being given a black flag for this incident. Looks like he just lost control down low, and unfortunately that put paid to Luke Payton's race as well. So Heat 2 will start with Nathan Vanderwacker on pole position, starting alongside Daniel Boyd, Braden Miller and Harry Stewart 3rd and 4th. Not so bad for Harry, considering that his qualifying didn't quite go his way. Bradley Oldfield and Brenton Hobson will round out the top 6. Then we've got John Schultz, an Oceanic Dirt Sim Events veteran, starting alongside Nick Ryan in 7th and 8th. We've got Corey Borden and Brad Minshall starting 9th and 10th. This is once again another stacked field here.
I think we're going to say that all night.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's going to be massive. There's so many competitive drivers that have signed up for this series, and you never know, there might be more coming with I believe Joel Berkeley rostered on for quite a few events. Look out for him at Williams Grove later on in the season.
There's a few names that aren't here tonight that will be here throughout the season. The drivers do get 3 drop rounds throughout the season, and I think that's probably helpful for a lot of drivers, as you said, that are away with real life commitments and other things. Life can get in the way for racing. Is Vanderwacker, great jump from him.
Yep, green flag flies in the second heat. It is on for second. Daniel Boyd facing off massive pressure from Harry Stewart, who's already trying to make moves forward. He sticks middle of the track. He can't get the drive out of turn 4, though. He's going to have to wait for something else there as Brenton Hobson protects, or at least tries to, from the number 51. Oldfield managing to keep him down there as Brenton Hobson falls like a stone all the way back to 8th place. Nick Ryan struggling to keep control of the rear end now in the number 7 there. Goodness me, it seems like a lot of drivers are having a bit of trouble with the car snapping on them in the middle of the corner here.
There's a little bit of snapping happening there. It's a little bit rough going for a lot of drivers. You notice they've all moved up the track about 2 lanes as well from the start of the race. Halfway through, battle for 3rd, 4th, 2nd, 3rd and 4th really been quite heated. Braden Miller and Harry Stewart, the main 2 that have been swapping positions quite a bit. Here we go again.
Yeah, up the inside. Braden Miller tries the slide job on Harry Stewart, but Harry is wise to it and slips back on through. This is so entertaining. I love watching racing at Volusia. There's so many opportunities to fling one up the inside. It seems like Harry is nice and comfortable riding the cushion right there. Braden's going to have to try something different to get past him here. Straighten it up, get the traction on the way out. But Stewart holds his momentum. Is he going to flick back up the inside down at turn 4? He is, as the white flag already flies. Miller versus Stewart is going to go right to the line, but Nathan Vanderwacker so far ahead, he doesn't need to worry about any of that. He's just on his own here at the front. He takes the win, and it's close between Braden Miller and Harry Stewart for 3rd. It looks like Harry just beat Braden to the line by 0.02 of a second. So there are your results then. Vanderwacker and Boyd enter the draw for the top 8 in the feature. Harry Stewart, Braden Miller and Bradley Oldfield are going to join them in the A main outright, with Schultz, Ryan, Hobson, Borden having to unfortunately work their way through the alphabet, and Brad Minshall not taking to the start. That is interesting. He didn't set a time in qualifying either, so I'm wondering if he's pulled out of this one as we're already into the grid for Heat 3. Ethan Winters going to start alongside Josh Walton on the front row, with Kobe Noonan and Sean Stevens 3rd and 4th, Darcy Wilson and Trent Gosley 5th and 6th, looking to see what Gosley can do from there. Riley Bilson and Cameron De Bruin 7th and 8th. Meanwhile, Brett Wheeler is going to start in 9th. Liam James, of course, in race control, will not be taking to the grid for this one, so it is a 9-car field to start things off. Actually, it looks like Liam is on the grid. I didn't expect him to be there, and okay. A little bit of drama on the grid there as he launched himself forward and actually made rear-end contact with Cameron De Bruin.
Interesting. I'm sure that was not intended in the slightest, because Liam's pretty switched on with that stuff, so I'm sure something happened there. He's had some sort of tech issue. Also, Bradley Minshall is also helping out in race control. That explains why he missed the the run there.
All right. Well, everything is worked out and makes sense now as we get ready for the the only of our formation laps, as the pace car is pulling right in. Ethan Winter takes the start here. Looks like the pace laps have been shortened here. They want to get these races going as soon as possible, and Ethan already starting to break away from everyone. It looks like it's going to be a battle for second on back here as Josh Walton tries desperately to stay within range, but he's having to face off against Kobe Noonan for the second spot on the podium. Meanwhile, there's Trent Gosley side by side with Riley Bilson, who's absolutely working his way up here, and that's massive contact. Trent Gosley gets sent into the wall, tumbles over and out of the race. That will probably be a black flag to Riley Bilson, as we are seeing moves. Josh Walton, almost the same thing happened there. He gets into the wall, but he manages to keep going, and it looks like he's still in the top 5, so he's safe for the start in the feature. But that's been a massive shift.
The race this has been action-packed for sure, and it's only going to get worse as the night goes on, or better, depending on which way you look at it. As De Bruin has a massive moment there, and contact between De Bruin and Wilson. Wilson goes around. It's his night over.
That's such a shame. Yeah, he'll have to work his way through the alphabet. 2 retirements then. Darcy Wilson and Trent Gosley, 2 very skilled drivers, are side by side here. For third, Sean Stevens versus Riley Bilson. Take it easy, boys. It's the second last lap here. Don't want any further dramas to happen. Try and keep it clean until the end. The white flag flies for Ethan Winter in the number 39. He has dominated this heat. There is nothing anyone can do to overcome him. Kobe Noonan holding the fastest lap of the race, but it's who finishes ahead that counts. Winter and Noonan will move through to the top 8 grid draw. Sean Stevens wins the battle for third, with Riley Bilson, and Josh Walton will join the rest of them on the feature grid right then and there. Of course, Wheeler, De Bruin, Wilson and Gosley will have to work their way through the alphabet. Good performance by Wheeler there to avoid all the drama and move up into 6th.
Yeah, he did a good job of literal avoidance, wasn't it, there? And Wilson and Gosley, they'll be heartbroken to have to start from so far back. Doesn't look like there's been any penalties or potentially for Bilson, so he may not have to feel the wrath of race control, but heat number 4 underway. This is our final heat already.
It is. Leo Heaton and Cody Malley on the front row. Brent Hobbs and Thomas Mitchell 3rd and 4th. Luke Wilson and Brett Sheehan in 5th and 6th. Then we have Tristo starting in 7th alongside Cam Brooks. Final car on the grid will be Michael Rutledge for Rutledge Brothers Racing. And we're going to have to get this started very quickly. Pace car almost at pit lane. So let's get things going. Interesting point there you noted about Bilson avoiding the black flag. It was actually Trent Gosley that was given the black flag for that incident. Yeah, so that'll be something to talk about later on. But we've got a heat here to commentate, as that's an excellent jump from Brent Hobbs up into second. Little bit of contact with Cody Malley, almost 3 wide with Luke Wilson and Thomas Mitchell, who is all the way down to the inside, but there's no grip down there, as you can see. This is going to get heated, as to the inside goes Cody Malley, back up into second spot. But Leo Heaton is, I think, very glad that all of this is happening behind him. Whoa!
Sheehan and Tristo Yellen have an incident back in the field, so they're going to have to go through the C-Maid now.
Yep, that's a shame there for the both of them. But the fight is on here in the top 5. You're looking at 3rd, 4th, and 5th right now. Thomas Mitchell on the outside looking in here as Brent Hobbs and Luke Wilson try to battle with each other. That's some very good drive by Wilson off of turn 2. But not much he can do coming into 3 and 4. Has to try and stick to the inside. There's no room for a slide job there. He's desperately trying to keep momentum. It's all about making sure that when you make the move, you make it stick. And it looks like Thomas Mitchell is going to try and make it stick here with a great drive out of turn 4. Sticks to the inside, overtakes both of them, and I think he's going to lose out to both of them on the back stretch.
Little fight here, and of course this does determine... Oh no! At the back. Mitchell, he's now lost a spot.
Oh dear, he falls all the way down to 7th. Looks like he's going to be able to keep the car going to the end, or is he? He's going to stop that. Unfortunate there for Thomas Mitchell. That promotes Luke Wilson and Cam Brooks up into 4th and 5th. And Cody Malley is going for the lead here on Leo Heaton, who's having some technical issues. Cody Malley with a big oversteer moment right on the final lap. Leo Heaton will come across the line in first. That was a great attack from Malley right at the end. Unfortunately, it wasn't enough.
That was a fun race.
Oh, yeah, it was. A lot went on there. It's a beat the dark 1, 2, 3, 4. That's amazing there. Heaton, Malley, Hobbs and Wilson. Cam Brooks, meanwhile, the outsider there in 5th spot. They'll all go straight through to the feature with Rutledge, Yelland, Mitchell and Sheehan, unfortunately, having to work their way through the alphabet, which begins now. It doesn't go A, B, C, D, etc. It goes C, B, A, and this is the C main grid. Darcy Wilson and Thomas Mitchell, with Luke Payton and Corey Borden 3rd and 4th. Trent Gosley and Brett Sheehan round out the top 6, with Barry, Minch and Minchell rounding out the 8 cars that are going to take to the start here. Now don't forget, Darcy Wilson and Trent Gosley both have black flags to their names, so they will be put to the end of the line here.
As you can see there as well, top 4 advance to the B main. So top 4 will go and join the drivers that we've seen finish 6th and 7th throughout their heats and race in the B main. And from there, the top 4 in the B main will race off for those final 4 spots in the Knights racing in the A main.
Yeah, a lot to play for here in the C main. It's you're not just racing for the right to get into the feature, you're racing for the right to stay in the night, full stop. Everyone who finishes outside the top 4 here is going home. And even then, if you finish in the top 4 in this one, you're not guaranteed to finish top 4 in the B main, so you might not even make it to the feature. There's a lot to think about coming to the start of this C main here, as it looks like the end-of-line penalties have been assigned for Luke Wilson, Josh Barry, Trent Gosley, and Brett Sheehan. Not too sure whether Darcy Wilson still has to be given a black flag. We'll have to wait and see.
It's one over 10 laps, so a lot more racing that can be done in the 10-lap race as opposed to the 8-lap heats. Sure, it's only 2 laps, but it does add a lot of extra racing, but it does also add a lot of extra pressure to these drivers.
It does. Like you say, only 2 laps, and laps are very short at Dirt Oval, but you can make moves on entry and exit at either side of the racetrack, so plenty to play for here as the pace truck makes its way into the pits. Darcy Wilson enters the restart zone and gets a fantastic start, side by side for second already between Luke Payton and Thomas Mitchell. Meanwhile, struggling to keep it out of the wall is Corey Borden at the back of the grid. He falls way behind the rest of the pack. And I think Thomas Mitchell, having issues keeping momentum up, has to give the inside to Thomas Mitchell, to Josh Barry and Luke Payton. But it looks like Thomas he's looking comfortable there on the outside. Look at him go. That's fantastic. Seems like the outside is where you want to be.
He's the only one that's really made that far outside work, as he's not right up against the wall, but he's definitely a lot wider than most others have been. This is a little bit of advantage starting your races a little later on in the night. You understand the track a bit more. You don't have that big gap between races, so you'll understand the track a little bit better than some of these guys. Darcy Wilson doing a very, very nice job at the moment.
Yeah, it seems like he's doing the same thing Mitchell's doing, but I feel like Thomas Mitchell is just a little bit quicker when things go his way. Wilson is having a lot of trouble keeping it straight down the back stretch as we keep our eye here on the top 2. Gaining is the number 28. Can the number 5 keep him behind as we have coming up to 4 laps to go this time by? Remember, the top 4 make their way into the B main. Trent Gosley on the outside looking in as there's the move for the lead, but the outside will belong to the number 5. Still ahead is the 28 of Thomas Mitchell. Oh, but the inside is not where you want to be. Beautiful move by Darcy Wilson to get the lead back.
Have a look at Luke Payton. He closed up so much ground from those two having that little side-by-side battle. He gained 0.4 of a second on that lap. He's got so much more pace at the moment. He seems to have worked the track out now as well. 3-car fight for the win. Josh Barry looks safe at the moment in P4.
Yeah, he certainly does. Trent Gosley not able to catch up to him. Coming up to the white flag now. And look at the speed here as Thomas Mitchell gets into the wall and actually hits the inside wall, trying to put the slide job on Darcy Wilson, who loses control, and going through into the lead is Luke Payton right at the final hurdle. But Darcy Wilson, with the drive around the outside, gets it back in the last few meters of the race.
And Thomas Mitchell was the one that only just held on for 4th in the end.
Wow.
What a race that was.
God, that was fantastic. Wow, check out those results. Wilson, Payton, Barry and Mitchell move through to the B main. Trent Gosley misses out by just 0.2 of a second. Along with him, Sheehan, Borden and Minshall, unfortunately, Sheehan and Borden, will go home. Once again, Bradley Minshall helping out with race control here. Let's get into the B main then. It is a big grid for this one. Jaden Russell will start at the front alongside John Schultz, with Brett Wheeler and Tristo Yelland on the 2nd row. Braden Shute and Nick Ryan 5th and 6th. 4th row is going to be Cameron De Bruin and Luke Wilson, with Rob Crawley and Brenton Hobson rounding out the top 10. And then we have Wilson, Payton, Barry and Mitchell, the top 4 from the B main, taking up the final spots on this 14-car grid. This is going to be fun. The top 4 from the C main are incredibly quick. They will be steadily working their way through here, and I'd be interested to see if the likes of Yelland and Wheeler are going to be able to hold on to those top 4 spots.
Lots of fast guys at the front, lots of fast guys at the back, lots of fast guys in the middle. It's going to be very, very action-packed the whole way through, so it's going to be a very, very entertaining one over 12 laps of racing. But as you say, those guys at the back that just raced in that C main, they have a big advantage. Jaden Russell with a great start.
Here we go then. Russell immediately skipping away as there's a big crash. Big crash in the field. Multiple drivers involved. Rob Crawley and Josh Barry were stuck together there, and Braden Shute with a spin as well. That's unfortunate. That's taken a lot of runners out of the running already. Russell, though, is not safe in the lead. John Schultz is piling the pressure on him. And look at Brett Wheeler still holding on to 3rd. Darcy Wilson has already worked his way up into 4th, and it looks like he's safe for the time being. De Bruin, Payton and Mitchell all the way further back there. Looks like Tristo Yelland was involved in that crash coming into turn 1 as well, so I don't think we'll be seeing much more of him tonight.
Yeah, and Josh Barry was the one that we saw end up over the wall. A fair bit of contact going on there. Back for 5th and 6th. These guys are still fighting on. That's De Bruin and Payton, but they're losing ground to the guys ahead. They're about a second behind Darcy Wilson now.
Yeah, the thing they need to do is just get in line and work together to try and move forward to the top 4, because right now seems like things have calmed down for that. Schultz versus Russell for the lead has not calmed down. Wheeler and Wilson for 3rd and 4th, certainly something to look at. They'll be hoping behind that they get in each other's way and help things out a little bit. As to the inside goes the number 28 of Thomas Mitchell. Unsuccessful once again. Seems like any move to the inside is severely punished tonight.
Darcy Wilson's now got past on Brett Wheeler as well, although they're still side by side. Luke Payton's closing in, so he's now only half a second back. 5 laps to go. He could get there. Brett Wheeler might be in a little bit of trouble here.
Yeah, Wheeler has to commit to the outside line here. I think if he wants to hold on to that position, he's still running a little bit too low. You see the extra momentum that the likes of Luke Payton has, and already he's lining up a move here. Has to straighten it out, get the traction. No room on the inside to get the move done there. He just needs to focus on drive out of the corners, and a little bit of hit to the wall there for Brett Wheeler. Leaves the door open on the inside, and that's the first time I've seen an inside move really work with Luke Payton getting it done and up into 4th spot.
Does Wheeler have anything to come back with as Darcy Wilson gets through on John Schultz? Behind De Bruin and Mitchell and Wilson still fighting over 6, but it's not going to count for anything now as Wheeler tries the extreme inside. It could work because that finish line does come up early. Last lap, he's got one last try to get this position.
This is a very intense fight for the final position in the top 4. And the checkered flag flies. That's massive there. So close between those drivers. It looks like Luke Payton won the day there. Jaden Russell winning the race, of course, with Schultz in 2nd. Wilson and Payton rounding out the top 4, with Brett Wheeler finishing only 0.03 of a second behind. That has got to sting for the number 56. Rest of the drivers you see on your screen: Wilson, Mitchell, De Bruin, Hobson, Crawley. Unfortunately as well, Ryan, Shute, Yelland and Barry. We will see no more of them tonight. Big shame for all of them, but now we can move into the warm-up and say hello to our best friend, the spinny wheel. Jay, who have we got up first?
We'll have winner of the first heat. Just now, I'm just trying to remember who that is. We've got Brady Baldwin coming in to help us as well. He's going to drag some people around, so I think we've got Tim Ryan first.
Mr.
We
Ryan,
have
please.
Indeed.
Mr. Ryan.
Mr.
Sorry,
Ryan.
I forgot. Hasn't school finished?
Yeah, mate. How are you boys?
Yeah, good, mate.
Doing pretty good, Tim. You're obviously hoping for the P1 start here, but we'll keep an eye on the production feed here as Jay spins the wheel, and we'll see exactly where you start for the feature here at Volusia. Will luck be on your side? It's going to be a 6th place start for you, Tim. Your immediate reaction?
Oh, this is just a gimmick, so whatever it is, it is. But I think it's going to hurt. Honestly, Brady already knows my point of view on this, so it's not upsetting. But yeah, over 17 rounds, I think I'll probably have to pass. I'm guessing upwards of 40 cars that I didn't have to pass with like my qualifying position, and that's probably been lucky, if that makes sense, with the grid draws. It's pretty easy to go over 40 cars even pass compared to some other people, I reckon.
Yeah, indeed. Well, regardless, we know how good you are, Tim. It will be certainly interesting to see how quickly you get to the lead once we get things started there. 6th place start for you.
Yeah, at least it's on the top. Hopefully we can get a clean start. The heat races were honestly pretty rough, and I think the double file restarts are going to be pretty interesting, so we'll see.
Yeah, top is where you need to be. All right, Tim, let's see where you go, and we'll have Nathan Vanderwacker now in the comms box here. Let's see where you end up starting for the feature grid. Are you hoping for bottom or top, Nathan?
You know what? Probably anything top 4 I'd love.
Oh, look at that, you're 3rd.
Yep, got 3rd. I'm happy with that. I think the top's going to be quick early, but I'm hoping it's going to come to the bottom towards the middle to the end of the race. So, yeah, I'm pretty much happy anywhere, and I'm even happy to start beating.
Excellent stuff. Well, yeah, starting from third, obviously the bottom has not been beneficial in the opening stages of the night, but with Volusia evolving the way it does, we'll see where you're at by the end.
Cheers, guys. Hopefully I'm speaking to you at the end.
Cheers very much, Nathan van der Wacker. And next up, we have, I believe, Ethan Winter with us in the commentary box. We shall see where you end up starting for this feature grid. Third and sixth have already been taken. So let's see whether or not it's a top or bottom start. You have got pole position for the feature, Ethan.
Yeah, that's massive. Hopefully I haven't used up all my luck for the season. Yeah, thanks to the guys, Colin and Joey for the set. That was on rails in the heat then, and hopefully we can do the same thing in the future.
Excellent stuff. So it'll be a start from pole position for Ethan Winter. Next up, we've got Leo Heaton in the comms box for us. First, third, and sixth have been taken. What are you hoping for, Leo? Number 8, you want to be up the top?
Nah, I'm just avoiding the heat race more, so I've rocked up in no practice, and yeah.
Well, you're starting on the front row.
Oh, here we go. This will be fun.
That's going to be fantastic. You're going to be starting on the top, which is ideally where you want to be at the start of the race, but we'll see how things go towards the end. Maybe the bottom will start coming into its own.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. Yeah, we'll find now that these cars they don't like to be aggressive. They want to be smooth, and yeah, hopefully we can do something decent.
Excellent stuff. Well, we'll see if we have a chat to you later on, Leo, as we have now Cole Ferguson in the box with us in the number 81. You've got 4th, 5th, 7th, or 8th to choose from here, Cole. Let's see which one you end up getting. It's going to be 4th place. You are starting alongside Nathan van der Wacker on the second row.
Yeah, happy with that. We had some good pace in the heat race. It was quite nice to see, a bit unexpected. So yeah, just want to, if I don't speak to you a bit later, I just want to thank all the boys. Special thanks to the Williamson family and Jack Williamson for letting me run their paint scheme with my sponsors on it. And yeah, thanks to Harman Designs, Tower Cattle, Australian Speedway Results, and yeah, we'll see what we can do in this feature.
We certainly will, Cole. Thanks for joining us. Here we go on to Daniel Boyd. Only 3 more spots up for grabs. Where's Daniel Boyd going to start? It's going to be 8th in the feature, Daniel. Not the worst place to be, considering it's up the top.
Yeah, I'm happy to be up in this top 8. It's a strong field, so for me to be starting up here is like it's a buzz. So we'll see what we can do.
Excellent stuff. Well, let's see then about Kobe Noonan. This is going to decide both of the final grid spots here, Kobe. You've either got 5th or 7th to deal with. Obviously, you'd want to be a bit further up.
Definitely being further up would definitely be handy, but either way, I'll just take my time. I'm just happy to be in the show, to be perfectly honest, being my first ODSE race.
Well, it's a top 5 for you there, Kobe, so congratulations for that.
No, thank you.
Awesome stuff. So Kobe Noonan will start in 5th, and basically means that that Cody, you're going to be starting in 7th spot here for the feature. Still a top 8 start. Certainly something to be proud of.
Yeah, it was real good. I'd just like to thank my sponsors, Beat the Dark, 81 Raceware, Rapid Race Replicas, Hobbsy for doing all the work. And you guys were putting this show on. I can't wait for that, mate.
Well, this is a formality more than anything. It's a choice between 7th and 7th.
I had to spin it.
There we
I
are.
had to spin it.
Confirmed. Jay had to spin it one more time. So starting down the bottom for you, Cody Malley. It's going to be interesting to see where you go from there, considering the bottom hasn't been strong early on in the night.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. I wouldn't mind to give it a shot. I might find something out of it. Might be a bit of pace, or I might just fall off a bit. But probably the aim is to get to the top, get some clean air, and get where I'm comfortable.
Well, we certainly hope that we have a chance to chat to you at the end of the night. Cody, thanks very much for joining us. Congratulations on getting not last.
Thank you.
Cody Malley, the last of the drivers there to join us in the
I've
comms
missed that
box
race.
for the draw. I've missed that as well. So like Tim Ryan pointed out, it is a bit gimmicky, but it's a bit of fun for us as fans and as commentators. It certainly adds a little bit to the action.
It's definitely entertaining. It adds a bit of drama, and I mean, it's no different in the real world where they literally draw out of a pot to decide where they're going to be. It's the exact same thing. So, just we're doing it with a spin wheel, completely random, slightly different way of doing the same thing they do in the real world.
Indeed. Before we get into the feature tonight, we want to give a couple of shout-outs. First off to Josh Barry. You might have noticed the intro video playing at the start of the broadcast. Well, he's the one who put that intro video together. Fantastic job from Josh Barry. Big thanks to you for adding a little bit of extra spice to our intros for this season of the Australian Sprintcar Championship. And of course, we can't forget LCJ Carpentry, the presenter of the Big Gator Bash at Volusia, specialists in new house frames in the western suburbs of Victoria. They specialise in Sheridan, Mimosa and 88 homes. The team at LCJ Carpentry strives for quality and excellence in all aspects of carpentry. Be sure to contact them for all your carpentry needs. Thank you very much to LCJ Carpentry for sponsoring the first event of the 2024 ODSE Australian Sprint Car Championship. So, couple of laps left in warm-up. The drivers are working the track in once again. A little bit of drama out on the racetrack as well, as we've seen some contact and crashes, but I think it's best, Jay, for the drivers to get it out of their system now. I'm hoping for a clean feature.
100%. Do it now, then you don't have to worry about the crashes later on. Also want to say a big shout out to all of the guys. There's been plenty of people that have done have helped out Brady with the logos for each event. Each event of the series has its own individual logo, and it just adds something very, very cool to the series. So well done to all of the people that have helped out with that as well. It's just added something really special to the series too.
Yeah, certainly has. It's certainly got that real life dirt racing feel now, especially with all of these magnificent logos, and they certainly hit the vibe of dirt racing. I love it. So, waiting then for the final laps to be completed. It looks like Tim Ryan is the first driver in a while to dip into below 14 seconds in this warm-up. You can see that the track is slowing down quite a bit. Remember, the first laps in qualifying were 12.5 seconds. We can't forget, of course, next week we go to round 2. This first round was unfortunately delayed by a week. Usually it's 2 weeks between rounds, but we're going back to back, going to Lanier, Jay, for the Neuropower 360 Short Track Nationals. We're taking some cubic inches out of the engine, but by no means a bad thing.
Looking forward to this one. It's always a fun track. It's been a staple of the series as well, and always provides a curveball. There's always something strange that happens when we go here. So I'm looking forward to this one next week. It'd be very, very cool to watch.
Yeah, I love Lanier. It's one of my favorite dirt tracks, and that's saying something considering Lanier was never a dirt track in the real world. But it looks like the session has ticked over and drivers are getting on the grid for the feature. So let's go through the 24 cars that are going to take to the first final of the 2024 Australian Sprint Car Championship season. Tim Ryan is going to start on pole position alongside Nathan van der Wacker. That's a big matchup there. Former World of Outlaws world champion and world championship competitor in the previous season, both starting on the front row. Ethan Winters going to start in third alongside Leo Heaton, and then Cole Ferguson, Daniel Boyd, Kobe Noonan and Cody Malley are going to round out the top 8. I'm actually, it's only just occurred to me, I'm in autopilot mode. They are going to be shifting around a bit to reflect their starting positions from the spinny wheel. So my apologies for that. It's ninth on back that are going to be reflected. Brady Baldwin and Harry Stewart rounding out the top 10, Jay.
Yep. There we go back to Sean Stevens and Brent Hobbs on the next row with Casey Simons, Braden Miller, Riley Bilson, Cam Brooks, Hayden Vickers, Bradley Oldfield, Josh Walton, Michael Rutledge, the rest of the field. These guys come through from B main. Jaden Russell, Don Schultz, Darcy Wilson and Luke Patton. 30 laps ahead of the drivers in this one. Going to go by quick. Going to go by very, very intensely. Cannot wait. And I don't think I can pick a winner.
No, I don't think I can either. I genuinely don't know who's going to cross the line in first place at the end of 30 green flag laps. Worth pointing out, if you're new to dirt racing, caution laps do not count towards the total. So some drivers are going to be underfueling their cars, hoping that there's going to be plenty of laps under caution and they can run a bit lighter over the course of the race. But if they put too little fuel in the car, they're going to be in trouble right at the end. This is going to be interesting. Ethan Winter and Leo Heaton are our front row starters here, and the number 39 is going to lead them away momentarily as the pace car is in the lane. And ASC 2024 is officially go with an excellent start by Ethan Winter. Tech issues for Leo Heaton. He's fallen back into third spot. Black flags cleared for everyone down the field. Nathan Vanderwacker is up into third spot. But Tim Ryan already on the charge. Look at him working the extreme inside as there's a crash in the back. Oh my goodness, that's huge. Multiple cars involved in that. Jaden Russell, Riley Bilson, Josh Walton. It looks like wings missing for Noonan and Ferguson as well.
Who did that start with? But Bilson was one of the first to go around. Maybe Noonan was the car that was facing the wrong way first. Yeah, okay. It'll replay up in a second.
So it looked like Heaton and Noonan made contact coming out of turn 4 here. You see Tim Ryan working his way up there, and then on the exit just came up.
There's a secondary contact there where Noonan got collected, and then there was a third incident when Bilson made contact. He made contact with everyone on the outside row. The positive is we can take a positive away from this race. Drivers are permitted a fast repair in the first 10 laps of the race. So we will see a lot of these guys be able to get back out on track. They will go to the back of the field, but they will at least be able to go back out on track. Kobe Noonan has received an end-of-line penalty for that as well.
Yeah, and that's sensible from race control. Looks like Leo Heaton has not made his way back out onto the racetrack, so he has not taken his fast repair. Potentially, his technical issues are too great. I'm seeing that he's already disconnected from the server, so potentially that is night over there for Leo Heaton, which is a huge shame for him after starting on the front row.
Yeah, disappointing for him, but some nights things just don't go your way. You often have tech issues. If tech issues in the real world, you have tech issues in the sim world. It does happen. He'll be back.
Yeah, certainly. It's a long season, and remember, every driver gets 3 drop rounds over the course of this season that goes all the way to the start of October. It's only the end of February. Man, we have got a long season ahead of us. It's going to be a long race ahead of the drivers here. Tim Ryan, though, making short work of working his way up here. He's already up into third spot. Harry Stewart up into P5. So those are the 2 competitors I'll be keeping my eyes on as we get things going again with Ethan Winter putting the power down. Tim Ryan with an excellent jump, working the extreme inside again. Already some contact. Brady Baldwin and Casey Simons. Oh, and behind them it continues. Oh, we got Bilson, Hobbs, and Ferguson coming together. Bilson and Ferguson.
That started from that contact way back at turn 2 between Brady Baldwin and I think it was Harry Stewart. That started and sent off that huge chain reaction all the way through the...
Yeah, it did. Drivers having to sort themselves out there. Unfortunately, Jaden Russell ran into Brent Hobbs as he was recovering from a slide, and there was nothing that Cole Ferguson and Riley Bilson could do from here.
Haven't gone back far enough, so let's try that again.
Okie dokes. Yeah, we keep an eye on Russell, I think, to start things off here. So Brady Baldwin and Harry Stewart make a bit of contact, and then up comes, oh, there goes Jaden Russell, and unfortunately up goes Brent Hobbs into Cole Ferguson and Riley Bilson. So that's what caused that incident. And Looks to me like it's going to be a single file restart from here on out.
Single file restarts part of the series here when we have back-to-back cautions. The second caution or subsequent cautions will be single file restarts, also single file in the last 10 laps from memory. A little while since I've done this, but I'm sure it's 10 laps.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it is too. Well, fortunately, it seems that Simons and Ferguson have made their way back out.
Doesn't look like Riley Bilson will return.
No.
He's already used his fast repair and he's still in the pits. We did see, I think, 8 cars use their fast repair on that first incident.
Yeah, that's a massive amount of drivers who are going to have their eyes on stalks. They'll be driving on eggshells all the way to the end of this feature. We've only completed 2 green flag laps, so this will be interesting.
Go
Might
Greg
be in
next
for a
time
long
by.
night. Yes. So 1 lap to green. The drivers will form up nice and slow, about 55 k's an hour, touring around Volusia. Confirmed retirement, meanwhile, for Riley Bilson. He is disconnected from the server. Big shame for one of the star drivers in ODSE events. But rising above it all, Ethan Winter. He is certainly taken advantage of that top starting position. And he's going to continue that advantage here with an excellent run off the green flag. Nathan Van Der Wacker, meanwhile, will hold on to second for the time being, but we are seeing the bottom start to come into its own. Look at the drive from Tim Ryan coming out of turn 2, already up into second.
Seems to make this inside work so much better than anyone else. We saw it all year last year, seeing it again this year early on. He's making the inside work. He just seems to find that tiny little bit of grip that no one else can get to between the inside line that everyone else gets and the wall. He just seems to find those extra couple of millimeters of dirt that no one else can get.
Oh, we got the caution out again. That's a flip there for Luke Patton. And it looks like that might be the end of his night if he can't get this going again. What happened to him here? Looks like, once again, Jaden Russell, one of the cars that was near him when this happened, but Russell didn't have anything to do with it.
Oh.
It was Michael Rutledge coming together.
The Rutledge in the purple car.
Yeah. It's unfortunate there. Josh Walton coming up into Rutledge, who was stuck on the outside there. So once again, it's a case of an incident happening ahead of a driver and they just don't have time to react to it.
Innocent bystanders seem to always be getting caught out in these incidents at the moment. So Rutledge high against the wall, and then whoever that was in the middle there, I'm not sure who it was. I think it might have been Josh Walton. Then come down into making contact. But we'll see if we can have a little look there. But the 54 Peyton, he has come in and used his fast repair, so he will get back out on track, which is good news.
Yeah, Josh Walton has been given an end-of-line penalty, and yeah, so that's unfortunate there for Josh. I don't know if it was my sim playing tricks on me, but it looked like his left front wheel was turned away quite a bit from the left side. This is the onboard view then, I believe. Oh, yeah. That's massive. That is Walton, yeah?
Yes, that was Walton, so explains a fair bit. Getting that contact on the outside and then contact on the inside, so race controller's seen that he's just drifted up the track. Now going to restart this back in 22nd. It looks like we're going to go green this time by, potentially. Got one more.
The pace truck is coming in, and it's a double file restart again. Ethan Winter with a good start. Nathan Van Der Wacker passes Tim Ryan again. Harry Stewart tries to sneak up the inside for third, but it's unsuccessful. Drivers on the outside now starting to struggle for a bit of grip. Brady Baldwin trying to run middle of the road here, staying in touch with Stewart and Ryan ahead of him. And Ryan is going to be putting a lot of pressure on Nathan van der Wacker for second spot. Harry Stewart switches to the extreme outside. He's going to see if this works. Does it? Gets some great momentum on the start-finish straight, but other than that, not much to be done. Baldwin now stuck on the inside. He's actually getting some really good drive out of the corners. I'm wondering if Ryan and Stewart are going to swap back down shortly.
You notice there too, Tim Ryan's decided the inside is no longer for him. He's gone to the outside. He's usually not the first to go and jump high, but he's seen that success that Harry Stewart seems to be having as Cody Malley found himself in an incident, facing the wrong way.
Yeah, looks like that's at turn 2, and that was not contact from another car. Unfortunately, Malley just turned in for turn 1 a little bit too early and smacked the concrete wall on the inside of pit exit.
It won't be the last time we see that throughout the night.
No, certainly not. It's very tempting to turn in early, but yeah, a little bit too early there for Malley.
The way that pit wall just juds out a little bit too, it sort of does entice you to try and be a little bit more aggressive, and then by the time you do that, all of a sudden the pit wall has gone back to normality. All of a sudden in trouble. Back to single file restarts again. This is the last chance for any drivers to be able to use a fast repair. They have to ask permission from race control to be able to do it. I would guess that Cody Malley will be doing that.
He has already done it. Took his fast repair in the pits that time by, so he'll resume running at the back of the line. So I'm hoping that we get a good green flag run in here. We are a third of the way through this feature now. 20 laps is not very long at a dirt oval, but when it's broken up by cautions like this, it ends up taking a very long time. I think all of the drivers are going to be hoping that there's room given, that there aren't any nasty surprises. We get ourselves a good finish out of this. The pace truck is well ahead of the field right now. They're just giving it a good amount of space.
Will it pull in this lap?
I'm not seeing any flashing lights on it, so I'm guessing that it will. Unless everyone's a little too far back. Yeah, there we go. That little jerk to the left is the signal. And now the field falls under the control of Ethan Winter, who goes nice and early here. Not much of a response from third on back, but van der Wacker is right on it here. The battle for third is going to continue at pace for quite some time here as Tim Ryan overtakes Brady Baldwin on the inside. Up in the wall is Harry Stewart. Yeah, goodness me. Did well to hold on to that. It's tough to ride the wall at Volusia. You bang in the right rear into that Armco barrier, and not many drivers have success with that lap on lap. So Harry's probably hoping that the extreme outside is going to come to him here. He is keeping Braden Miller behind him, but I don't see him making much progress on Ryan and Baldwin.
As you said that about the right rear, banging up against the wall. You saw Sean Stevens there banging up against the wall and making heavy contact and almost ripping the wheel out from his hands, and there we have an incident, and it looks like it's Cole Ferguson at a moment.
Yeah, unfortunate there for the number 81, and once again, it was done on his own. This is a very strange incident here. He just loses the rear.
Almost got it into the pits, and then bang, that tyre bundle does cause all sorts of dramas. We said that the tyre bundles on the outside would cause issues. I wasn't expecting the inside ones to cause dramas.
No. I mean, we've...
you did say yellow tyre bundles would cause dramas, so I guess in a way you were right.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, and when I was saying that, I was referring to those ones on the inside of the circuit. But no, you're right. The outside ones are often much more of a hazard in regular racing conditions. But if you end up losing the rear in the middle of the corner like Ferguson just did, then the inside ones become your enemy. So there's been no change between Ethan Winter and Nathan van der Wacker for quite some time. Ryan, Baldwin and Stewart look to be the biggest battle on track at the moment. All three of them vying for that final spot on the podium.
Can't
Who's going to win out?
Can't discount Miller and Stevens from that battle too, as Winter and Van der Wacken go. Tim Ryan missed the start, and there's almost contact. There was contact there. Sean Stevens had a horrible start. Sorry, that was Braden Miller, and hit the wall, and he's around.
Oh, he's around. And the yellow's immediately out again. How many drivers are having so many issues with the rear end?
It was just bizarre too, the way that started. Did he hit the tyres on the inside at the start? I think he may have hit the tyres on the inside. Watch this.
Good call. He did. Yeah, look at this. Wham.
Just destroyed the front wheel.
Yeah, that's just knocked the front left loose, and there was no way of controlling that. Yeah. That's not a stable platform.
We knew that the drivers were trying to find every millimetre possible, but that probably was pushing that limit a bit too far.
Yeah, unfortunately, you can't phase through a physical object, though I would imagine many racing drivers would like the ability to do that, but we are not reality warpers. So you need to respect the yellow tyres at Volusia Speedway Park. We are almost halfway through the green flag laps for this feature. Don't forget, it is a session time limit of 25 minutes. We are starting to approach that unfortunate time certain possibility.
Yeah, we're over halfway through, so we've got 9 minutes left on the clock. And still got 15 laps to try and do. I mean, we get a green flag run, we'll absolutely smash the time. But if we keep getting yellows, we could be in trouble. Away goes Winter.
All right, another good start from Ethan Winter. Now it's up to Nathan Van der Wacker to keep Tim Ryan behind, who's hugging the inside once again. He tried the outside earlier, and it seems off the restarts, the inside line is where you want to be. Ryan gets it done. Beautiful. Up into second spot. Now Van der Wacker has to keep an eye out for Baldwin and Stewart behind. Baldwin's still working the inside. Harry Stewart's still all the way up the top, and he's actually losing out to Sean Stevens. Trying the middle of the road now, sticking a bit lower to get the clean run through the corner. What's going to be more successful in the end, outside or inside? Inside's definitely come into its own here. And Nathan Van der Wacker is pushing Tim Ryan for that second place now, but Ryan is now up to Ethan Winter. We could see a change for the lead in a few moments' time. Looks like Brent Hobbs and Cody Malley have both suffered some issues. They're down to 15th and 16th spots. But the battle is still tight here at the top of this field. Tim Ryan just needs that door to open on the inside, and he can go for it. It was half open, and he pushed it open a little more. Ethan Winter now under immense amounts of pressure. He loses the rear on the way in, and through to the lead goes Nathan Van der Wacker.
Beautiful 2 for 1.
Ryan had to back out of that.
Yeah, 2 for 1 there for Van der Wacker. Ryan had to back out, Winter had to back out, and here comes Harry Stewart to take advantage. I was about to say that, sure, that Ryan and Winter were making the inside work, but Van der Wacker's made the normal race line, the standard race line at the start of the race, the start of the night, seem to work. But now Ryan back to the lead, Van der Wacker second, Harry Stewart now up into third. He is still running aggressively on the outside. Lap car making trouble.
Lap car, Josh Walton. That's brought the top 3 together. Tim Ryan slips up the inside and goes for the lead, and Harry Stewart is almost side by side with them. Can't take advantage of the momentum around the outside. Van der Wacker moving up to the top. Ethan Winter is still a factor in this battle.
What a race this is. Top 4 split by almost nothing. Tim Ryan still leads. Here comes Harry Stewart.
He's really putting it down on the exits of these corners. And almost
Winter
through to the lead.
Look at Winter now starting to go a bit wider.
Yeah, Winter's doing a good job, but there's nowhere he can go. At least there's nowhere Van der Wacker can go. But up the middle could be an option there for Ethan Winter at the exit of turn 2. Tim Ryan is taking advantage of all this fighting and is starting to pull out a gap, which is what we almost always see from him in feature runnings. Ryan started from 6th in the ballot, and he will certainly be happy with the win if he comes away with it. We've still got 4 laps to go here at Volusia. Is there anything Harry Stewart can do to make up some time? Oh no! That's completely destroyed the battle for the podium. Harry Stewart immediately to the garage. Same for Ethan Winter. Nathan Vanderwacker back up into second, and Bradley Oldfield is now up into third.
Now Oldfield, he's come from nowhere. He's now into second, so it looks like there's damage for Vanderwacker. He's going to try and hold on. 2 laps to go. He's got to defend.
Oh, can I see the engine smoking? I'm not too sure. Doesn't look like the car should be kicking up that much dust.
Yeah, I think there's a tiny little bit of smoke happening. I think you're right.
Yeah, he's dropping. He is dropping hard. Lap 30 will begin momentarily. Tim Ryan out in the lead. Bradley Oldfield in second. Sean Stevens moves up into third spot. Brady Baldwin, though, gets him. Oh, makes big contact with him, sends him almost into the wall. Here comes Casey Simons. Could be looking at a podium here. Checkered flag is out, and Tim Ryan takes the win. Bradley Oldfield second, Brady Baldwin in third.
That was definitely something tonight.
Yeah. We might have to grab a replay of that incident.
Congratulations, though. We've got no doubts on the winner.
Yeah, absolutely. Huge shame, unfortunately, for Harry Stewart and Ethan Winter. It all started when Harry just took a little bit too much out of the top and hit the wall. He got sent down into Vanderwacker, and Ethan Winter unfortunately caught up in it all. Here's how it happened. Look at that. Into the wall, and down he comes. Whack.
And the sim actually sent both of those cars over the fence. From that point on, yeah, there's a tiny, tiny little bit of smoke. You can see there's just tiny little puffs of smoke. It's not much, but he's definitely lost power.
Yeah, it was a big hit that unfortunately Vanderwacker had to deal with in those last 4 laps, but good on him for holding on to 5th place in the end. He drove it like an animal to get to that top 5, but Tim Ryan will pull up next to the winner's circle and jump out of the car. And that's going to conclude the racing portion of this first round of the Australian Sprint Car Championship. I cannot believe we just saw that for the podium places.
Incredible. I'll run through the results and you can do some chatting to some people in a minute. We've got Tim Ryan winning in the end by 3.4 seconds over Bradley Oldfield. Have a look at the gaps between these guys back from here. Brady Baldwin only 1.5 tenths ahead of Casey Simons, who somehow made it back up into 4th. Daniel Boyd in 5th position. Nathan Vanderwacker held on for 6th, only just over Sean Stevens. Jaden Russell, Kobe Noonan and Cody Malley rounding out the top 10. And Darcy Wilson, John Schultz, Michael Rutledge, Brent Hobbs and Cam Brooks, the last drivers on the lead lap. Bolton, Stewart, Winter, Miller, Ferguson, Vickers, Payton, Bilson and Heaton. They will all want to forget parts of the night or most of the night.
Oh man, what an incredible sequence of events here at Volusia Speedway Park. We will go in for our podium interviews then. First up, of course, Tim Ryan. It's almost a formality, you coming away with the win at certain events in the ASC series, but you certainly had to work for this one, starting from 6th, and the opening portion of the race was broken up quite a bit.
Yeah, it was an interesting race. Sucks about the contact with Ethan. It's just a bit of a racing deal, to be honest. Coming into one, I was coming up the track and he was coming down and hooked his bumper. I don't know what happened to him after that, but it looked like he hit the wall pretty hard, so I wouldn't be surprised if he had a fair bit of damage to start the race with, to end the race with.
Still, regardless, it is maximum points for you from this opening round of the season, which certainly puts you on a good footing for when we swap to the 360s next week at Lanier.
Yeah, I was at Lanier next week, is it?
I believe so, yes.
Yes, it'll be pretty interesting. Lanier normally races pretty good. I was surprised how well that raced up there. It was pretty quick up top in the warm-up, but they gave the track just enough to slow down the top enough so that the bottom could come in.
Well, regardless, it comes away once more with you going for the extreme bottom at stages like I expected you to do, Tim. Anyone you'd like to thank before we let you go?
Yeah, I'd like to thank Brady for honestly putting it on you guys. That makes it really enjoyable to run. I was a bit lucky as well. I did hit that inside ball a few times, so I was lucky not to damage the car, to be honest with you. Yeah, I'd like to thank ODSE Esports, of course, our partners, VRS, Logitech G, and TP Designs for the awesome graphic. And if you're in need of a setup or anything like that, check out Speed Factory. Thank you, boys.
And thank you, Tim Ryan, for joining us, winner of the opening round of ASC 2024. Second on the road was the number 51, Bradley Oldfield, starting from 18th spot. Were you expecting a podium out of this, Brad?
Definitely not a podium, but we'll take that. A couple of things lined up my way towards the end, so yeah, we'll definitely take that. But definitely had a fast car, but don't think I had anything for Tim, so good job to him, but it was mega.
Yeah, fast car or no, you couldn't quite take advantage of it in the early stages of the race with how many cautions were coming out.
Yeah, I was getting a bit done in by then. I feel like every time there was a caution, I'd pass 2 cars and then have to give them spots back. So felt like it was just not working in my favour, all them restarts. And but yeah, maybe if there was a couple less, I would have been up there a bit earlier. But no, either way, it was still good fun. Good night.
Yeah, good night indeed, ending it with a second place. Do you think you'll have a fast car for Lanier next week?
Or, to be honest, I don't think I have a fast car anywhere until I rock up on the 9. I don't do any practice, so we'll just get there and figure out how we go.
Awesome. I like that approach. Thanks very much for joining us, Bradley. Is there anyone you'd like to thank before we let you go?
First of all, just ODSE for putting on this great league, and you guys for doing the awesome stream. Pace Apparel, Sticker Suspension, Trin Morley, all the guys back at Slick and United for all their help. Shout out to Damo, who was doing a lot of work spotting tonight. So cheers to him, and yeah, just everyone else that helps out. Cheers.
Bradley Oldfield, second on the road at Volusia Speedway Park. And final driver interview of the night also counts as a league admin interview. Brady Baldwin, you ended up getting on the podium in the end.
Yeah, lucked into that one, I think, Reese. I think I was like 7th or something with 5 or so laps to go. And then I think it was Harry and Ethan got in an incident on the into turn 3 there, which was unlucky because they were both really fast. And I think Nathan had damage as well. So my spotter said I got up to P5. I'm like, oh, okay. So we kept pushing and hit the bottom really good the last couple laps and managed a P3. Probably didn't deserve it to be there, but you can take them when you can get them.
I think it's partially to be expected, when a new season of a league starts after some time away, that there'll be drivers having issues getting into their groove, so to speak. Do you think that might be the reason why we had so many cautions early on in the feature?
I think there's a few things to go with it. The 410 we haven't raced since I think like April last year, to be honest, and it's not a common car that's ran in any other league in Australia. So that's probably one thing. We aren't running mirrors anymore, so that's one thing that you've gotten used to over so long in a sprint car, even though they're not in a real car, but you've gotten used to it, or people have gotten used to it on the sim. So that, and probably just the track got really slick there at the end in technical. You had to be really precise. I set up for the bottom for the whole race, and I had to be super technical to hit it properly. If I didn't, I'd lose, tenths a lap if I didn't hit it right. So I think it's a multitude of things, and also, round 1 of the season as well. And Volusia's not the easiest track to get a hold of either. So I think Lanier next week in the 360 is a pretty, standing combination amongst league races. So I think we should see some pretty good racing next week.
Yeah, I think so too. Well, thank you very much for joining us, Brady. Anyone you'd like to give a shout out to?
Yeah, obviously, you guys for putting on the broadcast. Jay for all his work behind the scenes. I was with him this afternoon when we were finalising things, and you two do a fantastic job, so thank you. Liam, Glenn and Brad in race control do a fantastic job. Their first night back since like July last year, just before I went to America. So they did a really good job, and they'll only get better every race. Obviously, Synergy Sim Racing, all our partners. Unfortunately, J. Ross drove through the field tonight. Hayden got unlucky there in the A, and Hobbo got unlucky in the B. But we still had pretty decent speed the first race. We haven't really been doing the sprint cars too much. As you guys know, I've been focusing on the V8 a lot the last couple of months. So this is my first race in like a month on dirt. So just obviously thanks to our partners. Sorry, I went on a tangent a bit there. Works Race Components, Watercraft Performance Center, Speedway Shop, DM Photography, Dr. Epoxy. And yeah, congrats also to Brad, mega job for him, 18th to 2nd, and Tim on the win, and hopefully we'll have a good race next week.
Thanks very much, Brady. I hope we can catch you next week.
Thank you, mate. Appreciate it.
Brady Baldwin there, third on the road. And of course, Jay, Neuropower 360 Short Track Nationals from Lanier Speedway taking place this time next week. Looking forward to that one.
Yeah, it's going to be a very, very cool night of racing next week. So make sure you join us again, same time, same place, and we'll have all of the action once again. Fingers crossed we could actually get our breath a little bit more next week, because once the racing went green, it was absolutely hectic. The green flag racing made up for all of the stoppages we had.
Oh yeah, certainly did. I could barely keep up with everything that was going on out there, but it's good to be back in dirt mode once again. We certainly appreciate all of you watching, be it live or on demand on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, and Kick. We'll certainly be bringing you all of the action over the course of the 2024 ODSE Australian Sprintcar Championship. That's Tim Ryan's third win at Volusia in ODSE competition. And we'll wait and see if he has many, many more at other tracks over the course of the year. We'll see you next week at Lanier. I'm Reese Gardner, Jay Kennedy with me in the comms box, and producing from all of us here at SimSpeed TV. Bye for now, but not forever.